Hello, hello, welcome, please come in. It's time for the final game in our Whips Only series, and that is Elden Ring. Let's see how Whips perform in this final game. First up is to select my starting class, and yeah, I think I'll go with Warrior. Good dexterity for damage is honestly the most important thing to have. And starting gift of Stone Sword Key, because why not? The rest of the items here wouldn't be super useful. And now it's time to do some running about. As usual, Elden Ring starts with a whole lot of gathering random items. First, it's over to the Gatefront Ruins to chat with Melina to get Tauren, the ability to level, and the Whetstone Knife over here. Then swing by these boys to grab the free gold Foulfoot. Next, it's over to the Church of Marika for the Wondrous Physic and Sacred Tear. Then up some Spirit Springs and into Caelid. I should stop by these graves to grab the free golden runes. Golden runes are always useful. Then grab the graves outside Fort Ferrith. Here I can grab the Dectus Medallion half, a Golden Rune 12, and the Radagon Sword Seal. But I'm not even close to done. Golden Seed while heading up the road, and it's time to take the back route around Stormveil Castle, because yep, the trip to acquiring all my starting nonsense will not be short. My ultimate destination is Caria Manor in the northwest of Liurnia, but as I go, I can grab the Dexterity Knot Tear, some more golden runes, and some convenient smithing stones. Why not? Might as well grab a memory stone while I'm at it. The Jellyfish Shield could be useful. Shame I'm going to forget about it in 2 minutes and never think about it again. Oh, hi, Melina. Sure, take me to the Round Table Hold. I can spend my seeds and tears here before warping back. Then dodge some arrows to access Caria Manor. Go a little further than I need and grab a golden seed before doubling back and doing some jumps to get my first whip, the Arumi. The best whip in the game. This is a very good charged attack, at least as far as whips go. Oh, I should also kill the Scarab that drops Determination. I don't really have any better Ashes of War right now, and the damage buff is not inconsiderable. Hi Bernal, please sell me no skill for my shield and torch. Oh, I never bought the crafting kit from Kale, better do that as well. And then it's south to the Weeping Peninsula. I can buy some smithing stones from this merchant and do a little jump to get a turtle shield for some passive stamina regen. Up to the Ailing Village for another Sacred Tear, and onwards, because Weeping has a really nice concentration of Sacred Tears and Trina Lilies for later. And all that gets me a +6 Arumi, which is decent for now. And now that Roderica is in the Round Table Hold, I should pop by the shack to grab the golden seed she leaves there. And then it is time to introduce Dialos to the Arumi, which has a much better charged attack than his whip. Oh, and I should grab the cookbooks for fire paper as well. Anyway, killing Dialos got me the Hoslo's Petal Whip. This deals less damage than the Arumi and doesn't have nearly as good of a charged attack. On the other hand, it does deal innate bleed damage and can be infused with Ashes of War to improve the bleed buildup, or add a second status effect, which should be very useful. I mostly picked it up now because there is a very big dragon that I'd really like to see dead, and the best way to do that early is via bleed. Combined with this little dragon children and a gold Foulfoot, and that gives me 98,000 runes, which I can invest into vigor, endurance, and dexterity for all the usual reasons. Then swing by this minor Erd tree for some tears, and this merchant for the bleed paper recipe. This tree has a gold seed, and the fort itself has the other half of the Dectus medallion. And yeah, that is a lot of progress. Thanks to the cracked tears I have, I can increase my dexterity and the damage of my charged attacks, which should be enough to take out Margit. I'm gonna lead with the Petal Whip. It's unupgraded, but those bleed triggers deal very big damage, and I'm pretty familiar with this fight. After a few bleed triggers, it's back to the Arumi because his bleed resistance is now too high. A few more charged attacks finishes the fight pretty easily. That's a pretty good start, actually. I don't actually have any talismans to equip. I should remedy that at some point. But first, it's time to put more points into dexterity and run the fast way through Stormveil. I am so glad this fast run-through is so easy to do. I should take a quick detour to grab the free golden seed down here. That's enough to get me another flask, and it's Godric time. Same plan as Margit, lead with Petal Whip to take advantage of the bleed buildups, then in phase 2, it's time to make use of the Arumi's great charged attack. Determination means the whip hits very hard. It can even break stances, though whips don't have a critical animation in this game. Cough. And that is Godric down. Oh, before I leave Stormveil, I should grab the Iron Whetblade hiding down here. This will let me give my whip a better infusion. Then east of Caria Manor to kill this bug to grab Hoarfrost Stomp for the Frost infusion, and to the nearby church to grab another Sacred Tear. And yeah, Arumi gets to be Keen, and Petal Whip gets to be Frost. Now it's time to get the Bell Bearing for better upgrade stones. And this tunnel can be easily run through. Ow, ow. Hello, Crystallion. How many charged attacks is it going to take to break you? More than I'd like, but not actually that many. That means I get the Petal Whip to also be +6. Huzzah, slightly better damage on my status whip. Oh, I never got the gold Foulfoot recipe. I guess I should do that now. Hi, Nereus. How do you like a status whip? Oh, you don't? Shame. Now to ask Patches the same question. Sadly, I can't kill Patches yet. It's too important to keep him alive, at least in theory, but I can buy 3 gold foul feet and the recipe to make more. How am I gonna get the feet to actually make these? Anyway, hi Patches again. I don't need anything from you, I just want you to move to your final destination. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. Please sell me the locket you stole, and also some crab that I will not remember to use at any point ever. Wait, what's the next step in this quest? Oh, right, I need to reach Altus. I already have both halves of the medallion, so that's easy enough. Hello again, ma'am. Please take me to the Volcano Manor. Hi, Tanith. I think I need to do one of the hunts first. So, sorry, bud, but you need to die for me to advance the quest I want to advance. Sorry about that. Hello for a 3rd time, Patches. Please give me your quest. Thank you. Oh, I never actually grabbed a Grace Fire in Altus, did I? Okay, time to ride the lift again. Grab a golden seed and a few more while I'm here, and why not? Let's run into some tunnels to grab the next smithing bell bearing. Though to use that, I will need some more runes. I guess it's time to kill an avatar. Fire Paper doesn't have that much damage, but the avatar is weak to it. The charged attack on the Arumi is just slightly too long to be safe here, though. I hope this doesn't become a problem later on. Anyway, that gets me the runes I need to buy some stones and upgrade both my whips up to plus 12. Yum, delicious damage. And then spend the rest on dexterity. Okay, now it's time to do Patch's quest, which means I need to scale the secret entrance to Altus Plateau. This is something I basically never do, because why would I? Other than failing at being on an elevator, somehow, the run-up is pretty easy to do. And then it's Big Wyrm time. Makar, can you please stop charging? Same as ever, I use the pedal whip to get in big damage via status effects, and then switch to the Arumi for the last part of the fight. Thanks to Night Rain, I have fought an absurd number of magma worms. This is not a challenge. And then invade this idiot to whip him to death for Patches. Hi Patches, please give me my whip. There we go, the Magma Candlestick. A dexterity whip that also deals fire damage. I am never actually going to use this, and it was a complete waste of time to grab. And now I can steal the Academy Glintstone key, and it's in Raya Lucaria for a golden seed and the next dungeon, I guess. Ah, Raya Lucaria, home to the blastiest mages you've ever seen, and the stabbiest automatons. Good thing the Arumi had such a good charged attack. And no, I did not mean to use a fire grease, I meant to turn on my lantern, but oh well. Next boss time! This is another boss that I have a lot more experience of thanks to Night Rain. Not that it shows as much as I'd like in the actual gameplay footage, but the Arumi and Pedal Whip are pretty good. It's really about taking my time to find some openings, but when I do, the damage is actually pretty good. This should be one of the few runs where Moongrim isn't actually a problem. Say what you will about whips in other situations, but wow do they demolish NPCs in this game. And so it's time for Rennala. Let's see how the damage looks in phase 1, and yeah, that's pretty good. Even accounting for increased status resistance, this should be a 2-cycle. And yeah, that was an easy phase. Now it's just time for the actually interesting part of the fight. The first half is very easy, but the second half does get more complicated. Whips are pretty slow, especially when I'm trying to use charged attacks, and it's pretty difficult to find space around her stupid summon to get those charged attacks off. On the other hand, Rennala is pretty frail, and I don't need to get that many more hits in. And there we go. Second shard bearer down, levels gained, and it's back to Altus. Here I can pick up more golden seeds on the way to my next destination, and that is the Draconic Tree Sentinel. DTS shouldn't be that difficult. Its moves are predictable, I fought it so many times, and my whip damage and status damage is, oh, pretty bad actually. The only hits that deal decent damage are the charged hits from the Arumi, which are tricky to get off in this fight. Is DTS really gonna get the most kills of any boss I fight in this entire run? It's more likely than it should be. Okay, there we go. Took a few deaths, but I remembered how to play the game and fight this boss. When you remember how to dodge and time attacks, it's actually super easy. 4 attempts is more than it should have been, but I'll take it. Into Leyndell, a very big city full of nothing I care about, I spent so long running around and getting lost in here on my first playthrough. It's wild how easy it actually is to get through here when you know where you're going. Kill this avatar for a convenient Lord's Rune. Oh, bye, Melina. See you in like 10 minutes. Oh, I should take a quick detour to grab the Holy Whetstone. This lets me infuse weapons with the Lightning Affinity, which could be super useful for exactly 1 fight. I should also grab the Ritual Shield Talisman. It's very useful, and I still don't have any other talismans. And yeah, that does mean it's time to run an errand before advancing further. And that is back to Liurnia, because I want some Crystal Tears, and that means killing another Erdtree avatar. This gives me 3 of the 4 Elemental Tears, with the Lightning one being by far the most important. Hello, Tree Guardians, don't mind me, and hello, Goldfree. This should not be too difficult of a fight. My only actual concern is how to get in charged attacks against this boss. It's not actually necessary here, just my basic attacks are dealing fine damage, but that information would be pretty useful later on. I'll have to see. Anyway, Goldfree is down, let's do some more errands. First up is to take out Gillica. This fight is very easy and gives me the Ritual Sword Talisman. I should also switch my whip back to Keen. That has a way better damage. POV, trying to sleep with a small pet yelling at you for attention. Okay, and now it's time for Morgott. This fight can be a bit tricky. Morgott attacks pretty fast and moves a lot. Oh, I did remember to use Crab. I'm as shocked as anyone. The good thing about Morgott is he is very statusable and not especially durable. His attacks are pretty quick though, especially if I decide not to dodge them. Come on, Zeph, do better. I really should be better at this point than I am. On the other hand, my best damage is from statuses, which stop working as Morgott's resistances reach higher levels. And the Arumi, which is only really great at charged attacks. I never picked up the second talisman pouch. I should probably do that and equip the Ritual Sword Talisman. Not that I'm spending a ton of time at max health, but still. Now I'm perfectly equipped to throw myself at this boss over and over again. I think the main problem with Morgott is that he's normally so frail that I've never actually had to learn this fight. So despite many runs, I don't really know how to dodge some of his attacks consistently. I may also be a bit under-leveled compared to where I normally am, because whips have actually been kind of stomping the game so far. There we go, much better. And I guess I should put some points in Vigor. Oh, I hadn't even gotten Vigor to 40? Well, that would explain some of my issues. Oh, I should also grab the Gold Scarab. I should have actually grabbed it much earlier on, but now's better than never. There we go, bonus runes all the time. That should help my under-leveled problem. And with Lanedale done, it's time to head to the Forbidden Lands, take another elevator, and it's time for the Mountaintop of the Giants. And there are so many items to pick up here. First on that list is the next Smithing Stone Bell Bearing, then another Golden Seed. I don't think the Somber Bell Bearing is going to help me at all, but I'll grab it while I'm here. And the Sacred Tear. Then loot a Graveyard, and Okina. Normally I just die here because this fight isn't worth doing, but I'm pretty sure whips can handle any NPC. And I am correct. Then another Sacred Tear, huzzah! Time to do some upgrading. Yeah, considerable improvements to my damage. And it's time for the worst boss fight. Unlike my normal strategy, I'm going to lead with the Arumi in Phase 1. It's much easier to hit his weak point in Phase 1, so raw damage is going to be the way to go. Once I'm into Phase 2, it becomes more of a problem, so I switch back to the Pedal Whip. I'm sure there are decreases to status application from swiping at his ankles, but once the statuses do trigger, the damage is the same as ever. And yeah, first attempt, not too bad. Let's continue to pour all my runes into Dexterity, because damage. Oh, I need to pick up the Sleep Pot recipe for the next boss. This is not the right graveyard. Well, at least it's free runes. And a free death. Added to the tally. There we go, Sleep Pots. Now I can burn the Erd Tree, and into Farum Azula. And this area's peak, run for it and don't look back. And that is mostly pretty easy. And it's duo time, another boss that I really don't like. Good news is I have Sleep Pots, and because they don't deal damage unless you actually hit the boss, they are allowed. Bad news is my damage is so bad that Apostle wakes up before I can kill Noble, which is unfortunate. Let's give that another try, but this time aim the pot better. There we go, that gets both of them down, giving me some nice free hits. I do need to be careful with the dying I'm doing. Sleep Pots are made from Trina Lilies, which do not respawn in the overworld. Let me swap out my Physic for more damage and switch my flasks around. More FP means more determinations, and it doesn't matter because I play bad. Why am I focusing the Noble? She is way more difficult than the Apostle. There we go. Okay, keeping pace with their respawns fairly well, and yes, I may have accidentally thrown a pot directly at the Apostle for 12 damage. No, I'm not resetting for that. It's 12 damage. We're going to move on. Mostly because then I killed the boss, so I'm going to take that as a win. That also gives me the last bell bearing for Smithing Stone, so I can buy more to get both my whips up to plus 24. Yay! Almost maxed out weapons. And before diving into the next section, which easily has the boss I struggle with the most, it's time for a bunch of errands and prep work. First up is to kill this Erd Tree avatar for fire boosting crack tier. Then over to have a little festival in which I stab Radon and his silly little horse repeatedly until they die. Volcano Manor is next, sir, let go of me. Here to stab a much more stabbable Godskin noble. Through this locked door to grab the Royal Knight's Resolve Ash of War, which is just Determination Plus. And now I kind of just want to get a bunch of runes to do some leveling. Erd Tree Avatar and its twin just mean more enemies to stab. Commander Niall's men are surprisingly stabbable. And while Niall himself isn't a free fight by any means, I've done this fight with bows, I can do it with whips. That gets me half the secret Halig Tree medallion. Guess I need to grab the other half too, huh? I never grabbed the grace at the rolled elevator. No one saw that. Through the secret path into Consecrated Snowfield, try to fall off a cliff to my death like an idiot, again. And there are a few nice bosses here to get some easy souls. Theodorix is annoying, but it's just another Magma Wyrm. How many tries could this possibly take? 3? Really? After all the Magma Wyrms you fought, that is embarrassing. Okay, next up is the Rotten Erdtree Avatar that somehow made it all the way up here. This is a much easier fight, as it should be. I'm putting levels in strength because quality might end up surpassing keen. Probably not, but good to check. Hi Anastasia, I have a whip. Goodbye. And now we get to play my favorite game of where is the stupid blood portal, because I'm incapable of remembering where that is. Ah, here we go. Mogwyn's palace here. I get invaded, but again, whips. I'm actually here to grab this golden seed. Can you leave me alone? Sir, I have a whip. Go away. Anyway, the big reason I'm here is the Halig Drake Medallion +2. Need that holy resistance. Oh, I have some kukris. I should try the tech to distract these enemies. Okay, that went better than expected. Still not great, but I got the stone I wanted. And now I can finally head back to Farum Azula to actually make some progress. There's the physical resist +2 talisman, which is always nice, and it's bird run time. And hoo boy, if you thought this run was going too well, don't you worry, this turns into a nightmare. Just birds being obnoxious. Lightning spawning in the worst places, and a dragon at the end which just has more HP than I would have liked. And it flew away, without even dying to give me my ancient smithing stone. So even when I do get through, I'm gonna have to do this again. There we go. It only took 5 deaths to get my smithing stone. Oh yeah, I should grab the golden seed up here. And now I have a maxed out Arumi. Huzzah! And while I would love to delay even further, it's time for Maliketh. This is not even close to the worst fight in Elden Ring, it's not even my least favorite. But it is definitely the worst fight I have in this game. Maliketh is so aggressive in both phases, and I am really bad at dodging his attacks. And while the Pedal Whip can deal decent status buildup, that is less effective when I'm getting in like one attack every 15 seconds. One of these days I'm gonna actually pencil in some time to practice this boss when I'm not in the middle of a challenge on a deadline. It takes 3 attempts before I even make it to phase 2, and then it just goes bad, as is typical. I am relying on the Pedal Whip for status buildup because those damage triggers are so juicy. And while this boss is aggressive, he isn't actually that durable. I mean, I need to play better so I don't just die in the first 2 minutes of the fight, but still. All those points I spent in strength aren't really serving me here. Keen is still better on the Arumi than quality. Let's do a respec. This noble is actually a mimic, and killing it gets me a larval tier, which I can turn into Rennala to fix my stats. Could go more vigor for health. Actually, I'm gonna put more stats in endurance. I think heavier armor for better damage negation is actually what I want. Is that damage negation better? It doesn't look that much better. Maybe it is? Or maybe I'm just being a little more patient in phase 1. The Arumi deals big charged attack damage in phase 1, and I die. Because I actually don't remember how to dodge that attack. Okay, let's die a few times to get back to Maliketh. Oh, that's right, now I remember. You need to break lock-on so you can run around his attacks. Yeah, that's right, I always forget that. Probably half the reason this fight always gives me so much trouble. There we go, goodbye Maliketh. And fingers crossed, that should actually be the last properly difficult boss in the game. Next boss is Gideon, and while Gideon can spiral very quickly, whips, particularly the Arumi, destroy NPCs. Gideon never even manages to cast a spell, which, considering how this fight has gone in the past, is a very good sign. So, I know this recording section ends on the Hoarah fight, and there's 20 minutes left in it. The Godfrey fight isn't gonna go well, is it? And yeah, not really. I mean, it's not like Maliketh bad. Actually, maybe it's worse than Maliketh? I got through Maliketh way faster than normal. Anyway, the real issue is that the Arumi's best damage is charged attacks buffed with Royal Knight's Resolve. Problem is that charged attacks with the Arumi are just a bit too slow to do reliably in either phase of the fight. They are often safe enough, but sometimes I do get punished depending on the follow-up. It doesn't help that after all this time, I still just love to not dodge the grab attack correctly in phase 2. Either of them, actually. This boss is definitely going to take fewer attempts than Maliketh, but each attempt is way longer, because Hoarah is just a lot more durable. Okay, there we go. That took way more attempts than it ever should have. Whips are good at NPCs, less good at other bosses. And that only leaves 2 bosses, who in the past have caused me considerable grief, but against whom I have a lot of practice. While I haven't done either fight in a bit, I really just need to harken back to long hours dying over and over in my bow-only run. I do really wish whips dealt a bit more damage though. Fighting Radagon for this long is kind of always a recipe for disaster, especially in the latter portions of the fight, where he brings out all the special effects and particles he can to make everything messy. But there we go, a few attempts in and it's time for the real final boss. And unlike Radagon with his really aggressive combos, Elden Beast is more about dodging specific attacks that encompass huge portions of the arena, which is actually way easier to deal with, especially when my best damage options are charged attacks. Okay, maybe I'm a little out of practice on Elden Beast too. That's okay, I really just need to head back into the fight and reach Elden Beast with a few more flasks. That way I can actually heal a few times. You know, what I really should have done is grab the cracked tier that increased the stance damage of your attacks. It may not have done anything that significant, since whips have really bad stance damage, but even one stance break would have made this easier. Oh well, that is Elden Beast down. And that was Elden Ring, beaten with only whips. And I have to say, despite some trouble at the end against Maliketh and Horaloo, that was way easier than I expected. The Urumi is just a really good whip. The pedal whip is also pretty great, probably should have leveled up some arcane, right? But I will have more to say about that in a summary video, out in a few weeks. I did want to shout out that I do have a Patreon, linked in the description. I spend a lot of time making these videos, so if you enjoyed the video, want to support the channel, and are financially stable enough to do so, that exists. No pressure though, this channel is free to enjoy for everyone and will remain that way. For now, if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you'd like to see more of this, feel free to subscribe. Hey, maybe leave a comment if you have something you'd like to say. But whatever you decide to do, have a safe trip home.